let's get to a couple of things. Let's get to the press conference yesterday. I was there at that press conference, the president speaking for an hour and a half, an hour and 29 minutes with the White House press conference. I was there, an hour and 29 minutes. He took 65 questions from 38 different reporters. Unfortunately, I didn't get called on to ask a question. The display of rudeness by Jim Acosta and others towards this president, the disrespect and the rudeness is unconscionable. I mean, I have to tell you that I was embarrassed to be a part of that clown show yesterday. The object of the White House press corps is to ask legitimate questions to get information to the American public. What went on yesterday in that White House had nothing to do with journalism. It had nothing to do with asking questions. It had nothing to do with information. It had nothing to do with the free press. It had all to do with getting on TV and embarrassing the president across the world in a disrespectful manner. That's what the purpose of these clowns were. And Jim Acosta of CNN is a disgusting clown. A rude, disgusting clown. And they pulled his White House credentials, and they should. And I'll tell you the other thing. They hogged the microphone. I mean, I'm called on. When I'm called on, I ask one question. You know why? There's 50, 60 people there. I'm not going to ask 7 questions. Like, who the hell these people think they are? Like God's gift to the media? Like, who the hell does Jim Acosta think he is? He's a clown, and he's rude, and he's disgusting, and he makes my stomach turn. And then they go to get the microphone from him, a little intern, female intern, and he pushes her away and he grabs her arm. And then he lies about it. I was right there, Jim. You pushed her away. You pushed your arm away. I was right there. Stop lying, you creep. You're a creep. I don't know, maybe he gets a bonus for this. I don't really care. But CNN has turned into a complete abomination of rudeness and wackos. I guess this is how they make money. I really don't care about what they do. But being there yesterday was unbelievable. It was one of the most grossest things that I've ever witnessed in my life. I was embarrassed to be a part of that. And I'm not associated with them. I'm respectful. And I was sitting by John Gizzi, who's a long-time veteran of this. He's respectful. You know, there's a bunch of people here who are respectful. This is the President of the United States. It is a privilege to get in that room and get credentialed. It is a privilege to be able to do that and in front of the world ask legitimate questions to get out information. They don't want to ask legitimate questions. They don't want to do any of that. Here's what they want to do. Embarrass the president and show disrespect on TV like they're standing up to him. These are not media people. These are not journalists. These are media activists. These are paid protesters. Jim Acosta is a paid media protester. And the guy is a complete rude clown. He's a bore. B-O-O-R. He's a boorish clown show. And those other people that sit there in the front row that think they own the place because they happen to have earned their way up in their various networks in order to be able to sit in the front row with a reserved seat. Well, good for them. Embarrassing the president. These questions they ask are designed to embarrass and disrespect the president of the United States. You think they did this with Obama? You think they did this with Clinton? No. But they do it with this president. And he still goes out there for an hour and a half and called on 35 people. I was not one of them. Calls on 35 people and answers their questions, every one of them. Some of them, he calls them out. Oh, well, he's not open to the free press. No. When you ask questions designed to not get information but confront and embarrass the president, what do you think is going to happen? One question from a colleague of mine in the back, an African-American lady, asks him, your comment about nationalism the other day at your rally, does that mean you're in favor of white national supremacism? He said, what? That's a racist question. What are you talking about? Nationalism versus globalism. Basically, he said to her, haven't you figured this out over like years? Like there's globalism and there's nationalism. I love America. The hell kind of question is that? And we got those over and over and over. And then April Ryan is another rude lady. Stands up and starts screaming questions out. Not even called on. They give the microphone to somebody. She stands up and just yells out her question. He never called on her. I mean, it is like, what is going on here in this country with these people? You know, if you can't respect the president, you can't respect yourself. So then I'm sure, look, I don't watch it anymore. I just can't deal with it. But I guess now, you know, so April Ryan, I'm sure, who has a contract with CNN, now goes on CNN all night. I'm sure she was on all yesterday blasting the president and how he didn't call on her. Well, he didn't call on you because you're rude and you're boorish. That's why he didn't call it. You raise your hand. If he calls on you, you stand up, you get the microphone, you try to ask a legitimate question to get information out to the world. And there were some good questions yesterday, where we had a question about Khashoggi in Saudi Arabia. We had a question about working with Nancy Pelosi, and some of them are legitimate. Like one person said, okay, so you say you want to work with Nancy Pelosi, but you said that she would take a wrecking ball to the economy. He's like, yeah, well, I hope she doesn't do that. But that was a legitimate question. Acosta doesn't ask a legitimate question. Here's a text here from Darren. I mean, I was so upset yesterday walking out of there. And I'm glad they pulled his credentials. And he can go straight to Hades as far as I'm concerned because he's a jerk. I mean, what? Because you get a press pass now, that's a license to be a jerk? Come on, man. Grow the hell up. You're disgusting, Acosta. You make me sick. Good riddance. I couldn't believe my eyes yesterday. I mean, that was the worst display of just rudeness and disrespect, egotism and arrogance. That's what this whole thing is. Egotism, arrogance, rudeness, and disrespect. Okay, let's see what we got here. Darren says, good morning, John. Acosta's nothing but a rude attention-seeking tabloid hack. If you saw that press conference and saw clips of it, I was there. I want you to call in and tell me what you think. 888-480-JOHN. I tell you the other thing that happened is President Trump threw Barbara Comstock under the bus and ended her career. He ended her career yesterday. And Dave Bossie can't save her. And Kellyanne can't save her. And I don't think God himself is going to be able to save her political career right now going forward unless the president gets defeated in 2020, because he publicly in that press conference by name threw Comstock under the train and backed up and ran over her again. And what he said is a lot of the never-Trumpers that got beat yesterday, you know, they wouldn't support me, they wouldn't embrace my policies, and they all got wiped out. And he started naming names. And one of them, he said, Barbara Comstock, Northern Virginia, ran away from me and got trounced yesterday. That was his words, trounced. Here's what it means for Barbara. She's done. She can't run for governor because she'll never get the nomination because the president called her out. And there's no coming back from that. Done. That's my analysis on that. Barbara's political career in Virginia as a Republican is finished as long as President Trump is in the White House. Fini.